sweet corn based on who you speak to in the backyard is something that some people do and other people don't waste their time in doing because they feel the return on investment is not worth the effort to be put in, with only getting 1 or possibly 2 years per stalk. But the reward of eating homegrown, heirloom, organic sweet corn is something that you can never replace from store-bought. The key is you need to build your soil with compost, use coffee grounds, a rotted manure, something with a good nitrogen base. You can also use organic fertilizer. Corn takes a tremendous amount of nitrogen to grow. That's what we learned several years ago when we couldn't grow sweet corn very successfully. Then we started building the soil with organic matter, adding an organic fertilizer, and we were able to successfully grow sweet corn. Soil temperature is key in this. For many gardeners, we want to plant as early as we can, but if your soil temperature is not a minimum consistent or warmer, 55 degrees at 2 inches in depth, or 50 degrees Fahrenheit at 6 inches in depth, you're wasting your time. The corn will simply sit in the ground and rot. So we can do a couple things here in order to plant here. Corn requires to be planted in a block, not just a straight row like cucumbers or peppers or tomatoes. A block is required, such as here. This is 30 inches wide by 10 foot long, and the other bed over there that we'll be planting corn is 10 foot long by 4.5 foot wide. The block is required because corn pollinates from its tassels. It's air pollinated. So the tassels on top of the plant at the time that the ear is forming, that pollen will fall down and pollinate the hairs on the ear. Each ear represents a kernel of corn on that cob that is getting pollinated. So if you don't have good soil and nutrients in that soil to feed the plant, your tassels will be small, your ears will even be smaller, and if you have it just in a straight row, the pollen from the tassels is very unlikely to pollinate the ears of corn, the hairs on the kernels, on the cob. So by planting it in a block, you've got corn that's going to be, let's say, 5-6 foot tall, and that pollen will be able to fall around and have a better chance of pollinating the follicles of hairs that are on the ear of corn that's going to pollinate the ears on the cob. So by planting it, you want to plant them about 1.5 foot apart, rows, and at depths about 1 inch to 1.25 inches, based on the recommendations on the back of your seed planting, your seed packet. So by doing that, keeping warm soil, having good nutrient-dense soil, by doing this, your chances of growing sweet corn in your backyard garden will be much higher.